Hi guys, welcome back for another video, collection video here in 2025. Might we call this baby the flagship baby of my channel? I don't know. If you don't know her, this is Vada Jane. She is, sculpt-wise, this is the Amelia sculpt by Joanna Kazmierczak, and I want to say the sculpt is from 2012. I might be off, but she is a small limited edition of 750. Honestly, I think I may have seen them all. I had been lucky enough to get an Amelia secondhand before this. She wasn't exactly right, but I found a blank kit and I got into a little bit of a, well, I will match and beat that price situation. And I paid as much for her blank kit as you would pay for a pretty good doll. So, but all in price to have her made as a custom was still in line with what I would expect to pay for a gorgeous version of this kit. So, this doll was made by Anastasiya Gangalo, who is a Russian artist and, you know, arguably my favorite artist. I've had maybe 4 or 5 dolls total from her. I currently have 2 in my collection, both boomerangs. So this girl was made for me in 2020. I want to say it was October that she was made. So I bought the kit. I shipped the kit to Russia. Anastasiya made her for me and then sent her back. In maybe, I want to say it was 2022. I think it was 2022, maybe 23. I sold her to one of my very closest friends, Tracy, at Aloha Babies. And of course I missed her. So eventually I had the opportunity to bring her back. So thank you, Tracy. She's got beautiful multi-tone hair, which I'm obsessing about right now. This sculpt is a masterpiece, timeless. It still kicks up every once in a while. In fact, I've seen several going around for sale lately that are pretty nice dolls, and very hard to find a blank kit anymore. So that was 5 years ago that I found mine, and some people talk about how much they've seen a kit go for, and I kind of laugh a little bit because paid a lot. But anyway, all in, really great price for this baby, and she is incredible. So what do I love about the Amelia sculpt? What is so magical about her? Well, if you remember my last video of Meryl, who was scrunchy and active and had that kind of, like, you know, scrunch up newborn face, this is like the essence. This sculpt is the essence of peacefulness and just so beautiful. Like, there's the delicate little button nose. She has a very, like, angelic face to her. And let's see her profile. So the first Amelia I saw and fell in love with was actually made by Elena Yadrina. And if you remember my video I made of Erica, also by Joanna Kazmierczak, Elena was the artist of that baby. So two of my very favorite artists there, Elena and Anastasiya. I want to show you her details, her painting. It's 5 years ago, and of course Anastasiya continues to evolve, but I absolutely think she is perfect. Perfect. This doll is by Yuyu, who is an artist in Belarus, I think, Minsk. And I have two bunnies and a bear from her. I love her little creation. So this one belongs to Vada. Vada, of course, was the girl in the movie My Girl, and that is very much why I named her that. Well, let's get her out of this sleeper. She's going to be down to bare body. She does not have a onesie on underneath this. She's been in this for a little bit. She's just one that I look at every day. She doesn't get changed too much. Look how peaceful she is. God. You see already her 3/4 arms. So much like Meryl in the last video. Also the 3/4 arms. You can see them a little bit better now. She doesn't have a onesie on. Her ankles are crossed, so it was a little tricky to get the feet. She has socks on. And I think you can see already her skin tone. She has a very warm skin tone, much like Antonia, the baby from Elena, actually. Similar type of skin tone. Yeah, so this is a winter sleeper, so definitely time to change her. We're in June. And I'll take her little baby socks off. Alrighty. So first off, I'll just show you, again, there's space left in the body for movement. So last week's video was the same, and I think I pay attention to these things. I love the heavy bum and maybe some weighting in the middle, and then but when you overstuff them, it does help with supporting them to sit up if you want them to sit up. But if you're looking for movement, realism in movement, and when you pick them up, I mean, really, she doesn't have a lot of padding up top, so you really want to support the head, because otherwise the head's very heavy. But also for posing. So I'll just show you. And this sculpt, which I think is a recognizable skill that Joanna has, her sculpts tend to, wherever they fall, they look beautifully posed. So this is certainly the case with Amelia. But because she has that movement in her abdomen too, you can really fold her up and twist her. She doesn't have a diaper on, and that's another reason for it. I do find that the diapers, you know, for better or worse, they cause a restriction here. So I keep a lot of my dolls without diapers, depending on the outfit. Sometimes the outfit kind of requires that or looks extra cute with it sticking out. All right, let's take a look at her style. So I mentioned her gorgeous rooted hair with the multiple tones. So very, very realistic rooting. Okay, now this baby has a beautiful translucent skin tone. So I mentioned very warm, and by warm I mean a little bit more in that yellow family than the red family, or the bluish cool tones. She's the warmer tones. Browns, yellows, that kind of. So closer to my skin tone than Meryl was. You can see the veining and even the capillaries on this doll are stellar. So you see that vein running from her temple down to in front of her ear. She's got some very subtle blemishes on her cheek, forehead, perfect eyebrows, little capillaries on her little purple eyelids, and you can see the bluish undertones in the corners of her eyes. A little blemish on her chin and some rosiness in the cheeks and the chin. And then she has a scratch below her ear on this side. And you can even see how the blue vein coming down on her forehead transitions into a smaller purpley capillary. Rashiness on her cheek. And a little broken capillary on this cheek too. See that? Look at that chin and that sucked in lip. She's an angel. The creasing on this baby is a little bit more on the, like, leans more purple than it does red. And her mottling is showing up very, very well. Here's this wrist. Some veins in her arms. And then here are the legs. Look at that, going down into her little feet. She's the perfect size too. She's not skinny and scrawny. She's like a solid newborn. Look at the ankles. She's rosy knees. That was a request. That is one of my very favorite things. And she's got her little pink toes. So here you see the difference too. See the nail tipping from my last video, where you had the hands and the feet were pretty much went into a very reddish, purplish, I want to say monotone, I mean in a good way, but where it was just the blood flow was solid there. Where now, I mean, she's a little bit of probably, you know, she's not days out. She's a little bit of an older newborn, but you see she's got the reddish toes, but her feet are a typical skin tone that matches the rest of her body. And her little perfect ears. Look at that baby. Okay, I'm gonna get good. So I have lots of beautiful dresses and knits for her. However, I came across this onesie that was returned to me when I bought her back. I'm going to put it on. So I don't think she does it anymore, but Lauren at the Babes and I at one point was doing custom embroidered onesies. And I also had a Lulu that was made at the same time as my Amelia was made, who I ended up buying as well, but I no longer have her, that was named Winnie. So I got them each a embroidered personalized onesie from Lauren for Vada and Winnie. Obviously I don't have Winnie, so I don't have her onesie, but I'm going to put her in that. Just a simple, with the little flower at the end. And this is size newborn. Oh yeah, let's measure her, right? Because we're starting to do that now. So we're coming out to 17.5 inches with the bent legs. And about 20 inches or so, 20 and a half, if the legs were straight. I think that sounds about right. All right. I'm kind of like back and forth on whether I dress them from the bottom, but I did start to, that became the thing, especially with rooted hair, was to come up from the bottom. And you could put plastic over their hair when you do this. I kind of like to just stretch the shirt enough that it's not pulling on anything and not dragging over the face. But I started thinking, I am creating friction over the entire doll, except for the face, every time I change it by coming up from the bottom. And sometimes it, you know, to get it up over the torso and the arms, you have to really stretch it out. So I kind of feel like it's a little bit, for me, less drama to go from the top as long as I create. And you know who I saw do it beautifully? And I was like, oh, well, of course, because I'm sure she did it with her real kids, was Stacy. Why can't I remember her channel name? You know, Gianna, Stacy's Rainbow Nursery, I think she goes by now. I saw her do it and I was like, oh. She just totally opened it up and went around the head. And I'm like, well, duh. But just the way she did it clicked for me. And ever since then, I really, with the Reborns, if I can, that's my preference now. Look how perfect. Look how perfect she is. Nice and simple, sweet, peaceful. She can pose like that. And then she's got her bunny, who, gosh, I just love. And that is her, like I said, she's the flagship doll. This is like her signature toy. And that's Miss Vada. Again, Amelia by Joanna Kazmierczak, and Reborn by Anastasiya Gangalo. My girl Vada. And she is now here forever. All right, guys. So glad to drop in. I hope everybody's doing really well. I myself am out on the road on vacation, thank goodness, but we did plan ahead to have this video ready for you guys. So I hope you enjoyed meeting her and seeing the different style of this artist and sculptor. We will be back real soon. Sending out lots of love. Bye for now.